In Texas today, lawyers representing survivors and family members of victims of the Uvalde school massacre announced a $27 billion class action lawsuit against the school district. They're seeking damages for the physical.
Those impacted by the Uvalde elementary school mass shooting have filed two major lawsuits this week that could test the bounds of qualified immunity and the protections of gun manufacturers. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your legal analyst, Adrienne Lawrence. On Wednesday, teachers, students, and staff of Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, have filed a $27 billion potential class action against law enforcement for failing to neutralize the mass shooter who claimed the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers back in May. Now, if you recall, it took some 77 minutes for law enforcement to stop the shooter. This from Bloomberg Law. The civil rights suit claimed that the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District and the city of Uvalde violated the plaintiff's due process rights by failing to adequately supervise and train officers and ensure that law enforcement agencies enforce the active shooter protocols. Individual law enforcement officials violated the plaintiff's due process rights by ordering their subordinates to contravene the active shooter protocols that required them to quickly neutralize the shooter, the plaintiff said. Now, this lawsuit comes just 2 days after Sandra Torres, who lost her 10-year-old daughter in the shooting, filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Uvalde, its school district, and several police departments. Now, this suit was filed for their complete failure to follow the active shooter protocols, among other things. And this is what makes her suit different. This per the AP. Torres is being helped by the legal arm of the group Everytown for Gun Safety. Her suit names the manufacturer of the AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle that Salvador Ramos used to fire more than 100 rounds in the horrific mass shooting. Now, Torres' lawsuit is part of this expanding legal framework of holding gun manufacturers accountable, and this was something done by the Sandy Hook school victims. The new Uvalde suit alleges that marketing tactics by Daniel Defense violated the Federal Trade Commission Act by negligently using militaristic imagery, product placement in combat video games, and social media to target vulnerable and violent young men, said Eric Tershwell, executive director at Everytown Law. Both of these lawsuits will be difficult to win due to qualified immunity and other legal protections. And even so, it's imperative that these suits be brought. It not only gives a chance for the courts to course correct, adapting to the will of the people, shall we say, but it also positions these victims to receive some compensation for their loss, even if by way of settlement. While no amount of money will bring back those babies and teachers who were murdered, it will help with psychiatric counseling, accommodations, and all else that requires resources that most Americans just don't have. And all that being said, it is unlikely that the gun manufacturer will be held liable in Texas. Far too many leaders there suckle at the teat of the NRA. And the gun makers, well, they likely are going to refuse settlement because they don't want to open the floodgates for anyone else involved in mass shootings to hold them liable. Any kind of money the Uvalde families would potentially get would come from a city or state or some kind of local organization. And that really sucks because it means it's coming out of their own pockets as taxpayers. But these are some of the problems that we have when it comes to having these mass shootings and having no accountability whatsoever. Indeed, the system is rigged such that we cannot win, but we still must fight. So I definitely honor the families that are fighting. But those are just my thoughts. You let me know yours in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button. And thanks for watching.